directly from Riskin 2025 here in Zurich. I'm having a glass of wine with Geoffrey Kerr.
Just had a great session here at Riskin talking around the cybersecurity threats sitting in manufacturing operations around the world, and we were able to share a number of key points for the attendees here. First, the importance of looking at cybersecurity not only in the IT domain, but also in the OT domain. And OT, if you're not familiar with it, is operational technology. So it's the technologies that we use on our manufacturing operations to run our production lines. One of the key messages was you need to equally protect the OT domain versus the IT domain. And that's very challenging because you've got about 100 more microprocessors sitting in the OT domain. If they don't protect it, a hacker, whether he's sophisticated or a medium scale capability hacker, you can drive into a manufacturing plant, park your car in a car park, turn on a scanner, pick up an OT device, and that's a way of ingress into those companies. So that was one of the things we shared today.
These cyber attacks, how big is that?
The risk is very high because essentially if you look at it, the IT domain is a fortress now. There's a lot of tools that are being sold out there, very expensive tools that companies are still implementing, whether that's vulnerability scanning or threat analytics platform or even deception technology, the trap.
So on the IT we have everything, that's what you're saying.
Generally the technology is there. In the OT domain, that's challenging because typically in the OT domain, to put the IT tools into the OT domain, you've got to watch out because the OT domain has a lot of legacy control systems. Some things can be up to 25 years old. You don't typically put standard IT cybersecurity tools into the OT domain unless you test it. A lot of these work like a ping on a radar to see what's there. If you've got a very old architecture, it can literally shut down the manufacturing operation because the microprocessors can't take and handle that request. So that was part of today's conversation, which was great. The next thing we talked about was governance and risk assessment. Who owns that responsibility in an organization? Key one, it's not just the IT function. It's got to be all of the functions in the company. Business units know the true risk. Business people need to know the risk, then we put systems and processes in to address that risk. Too often, as I say, it falls under the IT function, and then you're going to have a problem when you actually have an attack and you don't know how to address it, or that very important risk has materialized and it's been completely missed in the business.
So we have to watch out for these attacks. That's a serious threat.
Watch out for the attacks and make some investments. I mean, one of the highlights I also covered today was the need to undertake an organizational redesign when addressing risk, in this case cybersecurity. If anybody is familiar with the Galbraith model, it's a model around how you design an organization to achieve the strategic outcome you want to get. Do the Galbraith model. Go and look at the tasks, the structure, the rewards. How do your organizational ecosystem work? And then on top of that, you then make the investments of the tools. Highlighted today is if you buy the tools, but you haven't got the organization behind it to be able to take action when there's an alert, it's a complete waste of money. We covered a lot of things at the conference today. It was really good, lots of great discussion. And I think we got some points across. And I think that's hopefully for the attendees something for them to take home.
Thanks a lot for your input, Jeff. Have a good evening. Enjoy the wine.
Thank you. Have a good evening.